out of potter's clay. In Acts 2, at the day of Pentecost, there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind and filled the church with the Holy Spirit. God breathed into the church the Holy Spirit. So, in the beginning, we have God forming man's body out of clay, and then he breathes in him the Spirit, or the breath of life, or the wind, which gave Adam life. And now we learn that God forms the body of his church out of potter's clay, which Christ is the head, and then God breathed into the church at the day of Pentecost the Holy Spirit, described as a rushing mighty wind, and the church became alive and fully functional to do God's work. This is very interesting parallel. So back to Daniel 2. What is the secondary application for the potter's clay in this prophecy? We now know that it is the church. And since the potter's clay is at the feet era of the statue, which is the pagan Roman era, then it cannot be the Old Testament church. It must be the New Testament Christian church, because this was formed and became alive during the day of Pentecost, which came after the resurrection and ascension of Jesus Christ, when Rome was in power. In Daniel 2 and verse 41, Daniel writes that the iron kingdom, which is pagan Rome, will be divided, and that this same potter's clay in the pagan Roman era will begin to mix with iron. Remember, the iron in this prophecy represents the political power of Rome. So then the Christian church will begin to mix with the Roman state. And not only will the Christian church begin to mix with the political power of Rome, but the church will also begin to mix with the pagan beliefs of Rome. How do we know? Well, every kingdom represented by each metal in this prophecy have been pagan kingdoms. Babylon, as well as Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome were all pagan kingdoms. So not only will this divided Rome be a union of church and state, but it will also be a union of Christianity and Roman paganism. And Daniel says that this will be the ruling power in the feet era of the statue, the Church of Rome. Is this accurate in history? Did the Christian church begin to mingle with not only the Roman state but also Roman paganism? In AD 306, Constantine became the new Roman emperor by fighting a series of civil wars, and he believed that it was the Christian God that helped him conquer. As history explains, Constantine received a vision from God, and that an angel had told him that in the sign of the cross he must conquer. Now, we don't know if his conversion was genuine, but Constantine became a supposed believer of the Christian God. During Constantine's reign, Christians went from being a persecuted sect to openly holding positions of influence in the courts and palaces of kings and governors. So if you wanted to advance in the army or imperial civil service, holding a position of power, becoming a Christian will take you on the right path to do so, because all the people at the top are now Christians. Constantine had made Christianity the religion of the state. And so by that time, Christianity had begun intermingling with the state of Rome. And so as people in the Roman Empire converted to Christianity, they brought along with them their former pagan beliefs and practices, and Christianity became intermingled with Roman paganism. There were even pagan statues renamed after biblical characters. The statue of Jupiter was renamed Peter. The statue of Hermes is shown as Christ the Good Shepherd. The statue of the Madonna and Child was retitled the Virgin Mary and Baby Jesus. Christianity had even adopted the pagan worship of the sun on the day of the sun, or Sunday, instead of the Bible Sabbath. Christianity began to fornicate with Roman paganism. In the same year, the Roman church state was given political, civil, as well as ecclesiastical power. The Church of Rome, or Papal Rome, which we now call the papacy, became the power in Rome. The civil power, the political power, and the religious power. And so after the fall of Rome, it continued in its divided state, and it also continued as a union of church and state. They tried intermingling to reunite divided Rome, but they were unsuccessful. They also tried mixing church and state and Christianity and paganism, but we all know that when you mix lies with the truth, it falls apart. It is truly amazing how pinpoint accurate Bible prophecy is. This must be the work of God.